Hi, I'm Kathy, and I wanted to show you how to do winter gardening. That's how you can start seeds early, and then you'll have your garden ready a little bit sooner than your neighbors. What you're going to do is take, first, you're going to use the kind of seeds that either overwinter by themselves or hardy plants, herbs will work, or things that would grow early in cooler weather. You can do bok choy and peas and lettuce and some of the leafy plants. Or if it says Arctic or Oriental or Siberian or anything that indicates it lives in cold weather. And I've had sunflowers overwinter, the seeds do, and then they grow sooner in the spring. So sunflowers would even work, but they do get tall and you're going to have to be careful what kind of container you use. If you get a carry-out container with like the black base and the clear top, make sure it's one that has a higher top, maybe like a roasted chicken one, so that the plants have room to grow up underneath the lid. But what you're going to do is you're going to take some largish containers and cut them so that they have about 5 or 6 inches of a base. Leave a hinge, a little piece together for a hinge, and you need to poke holes in the bottom. Apple juice containers are really tough, so I just poked some holes with a sharp object, but I took a nail and I put holes in the milk carton. That one was easier to work. Anything that is translucent or clear will work. Needs to let light through, and this one is not probably the best. The ones that are kind of less opaque, the kind that have the milk jugs that you can see the milk in. Okay, so I've got holes poked in here for drainage. I've got my seeds. I've got my potting mix. You don't want to just go out and dig something out of the garden. You want to have some nice clean soil, and it should be a potting mix because you're going to actually make a container here. But I'm going to put some dirt in here, about 3 or 4 inches of dirt. Give the roots some room to grow. Okay, so I've got this in here. There's my dirt, and I can take a seed like, oh, let's do chives. All right. Now chive seeds are small, and you might want to just dump the whole container in here, but that's way too many for a container this size. So I'm going to just kind of sprinkle them a little bit on here. Okay, probably still have a lot in there. And then I'm going to pat them down just a little bit. Chives don't have really deep roots, so that's okay. And I'm going to put just a little more dirt on top. You are going to want to put water in there, but being on this table here, I don't want to actually water them yet, but I will. And then you take some duct tape, and you're going to close this up. There we go. And make sure, absolutely sure, you label it, because you're going to have 20 containers and not have any idea what you planted in there. So this one is going to say chives. And make sure it's something that's going to last in the weather, because this goes outside. This is not a house plant. That's why we're using only the seeds that can overwinter. You don't need a lid. Just put this outside in a place that's sheltered from the wind where it won't tip over, because you don't want those seeds and their roots to be disturbed. But during the winter, if it gets snow on it, no problem. If it rains, that's fine. You've got the drainage thing. These seeds are hardy. They can last through the winter. And in the spring, you will, when the sun starts to come back with a little strength, you're going to get a heat inside here, and it's going to warm these up like being in just a little miniature greenhouse. It'll warm up the seeds and they'll start to sprout even like in February and early March. You may, in fact, have to take the tape off if it gets to warmer days so that you can flip the lid back and keep the seeds from cooking. So watch out if it starts to warm up so your little plants don't get too hot. When you're ready to transplant in the spring, you're going to have a whole bunch of seeds that have grown in there, and their roots will be kind of interwound. So you aren't going to pull them apart one by one. You're going to take, say maybe you're going to cut down the side here so you can slide the dirt out, and then you can break it into maybe 3 or 4 pieces and plant them in chunks. You don't want to disturb the roots too much. And the strongest plants will survive, and you will have a good crop, and you'll have it earlier than your neighbors. I hope you enjoyed that, and think about growing some interesting seeds during the winter. Bye.